Hello and welcome to Zak's Traders Cafe. My guest today is Paul Vonk, Managing Director at Angus Energy, which is a UK onshore oil and gas production and management company listed on the AIM market. Paul, is there any way to sugarcoat the announcement from Angus Energy last week regarding John Tidswell?
So the moment we first heard that something had happened, we took immediate action because we have very strict guidelines about what to do with your shares. Nobody in the company knew anything about this. That's the reason why Jonathan resigned from the board as a director and as the executive chairman. He will continue to work as the company on the operational level, being in charge of our fields. But this is something that he's sorting out, he's looking into, and when that is over, I'm sure he will have some things to say.
Right, I mean, this is obviously a very busy time for Angus overall. Is it going to be a distraction?
No, because we've got a very straight and simple strategy. When we first IPO'd in November 2016, we went to the investors saying, we're raising capital to open up the Kimmeridge Basin in southern England. Since the IPO, we increased our portfolio, we've de-risked our portfolio, and we've got a better position in the Kimmeridge Basin than we started off with. Our peers are now testing the Horse Hill well, which is very important because that is basically the same reservoir that we are planning to switch on from Brockham, and we're going to test at Balcombe. So there's 3 events happening over the next couple of months which will be instrumental for the company.
We've obviously touched on Jonathan Tidswell, but as far as there have been earthquakes in the boardroom, and also obviously as far as the situation with Surrey County Council as well, you've got all this volatility here, which presumably you didn't imagine would be the case when your company came to market. How is that going to affect Brockham Field?
Well, to touch on the earthquake part first, the tremors one, I think that's very important. We are a team of subsurface specialists, geologists, geophysicists. So this is our specialty area, and we know exactly what is happening there. It's scientifically and physically impossible for us to have caused these tremors. But of course, tremors in an area in southern England where they haven't been in ages, of course, is news. So the BGS, they came out with their results, and they're 10.5 kilometers south of our Brockham field. Our Brockham field, we've operated it for more than 30 years. It's technically, but basically the way the faulting structure works, it works from east to west. So we, at the reservoir at Brockham, are working at 1/3 of the pressure so that you can actually activate faults. So we can't do it with our current reservoir, but even hypothetically that we could do it, then the stresses would go east-west. Well, the epicenter of the tremors was 10.5 kilometers south of us. We physically and scientifically cannot do that. So that, to put the record straight, the BGS is doing some extra work, and in time it will actually be proven by the authorities that it isn't us. But
it's just one of those unfortunate things.
It is. Oil and gas is always interesting, and the timing is not always under your control. This is a site that we have been operating and has been in operation for 30 years, and we are planning to stay there for a very long time.
Apart from Angus, obviously the company which is in focus in your space is UK Oil and Gas, and that is like apparently the big fish, let's say, in this whole area. UKOG shares go up and your shares go up, your UKOG shares go down and yours follow. Is the market getting it right in terms of the relationship between your company and other companies in that area?
I wish UKOG all the best, but there's a few distinct differences between our companies. Since the acquisition of our interest in Balcombe, we have emulated their portfolio in a size, much more. We have now a much larger, future development acreage, but we have the production licenses. And like we already said at the IPO, these are key. So we're opening up the Kimmeridge Basin. They are now well testing the Horse Hill well, and when that's done, they need to go through the same process that we have already gone through years ago. So switching something on from a test to production is very time consuming. We can already do that. So while, when we switch on Brockham, it will be in production. And with Balcombe, we have the future growth of the company will come from there.
So is it fair to say that you're further along the curve than they are, and also you have a greater diversity in terms of your portfolio?
Yes, absolutely. And the same hurdles that are currently being perceived with us are the same hurdles that our peers will have to go through as well in the future.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Don't forget to join us next week with more information regarding Angus Energy from Paul Vonk regarding the different fields in the Angus Energy portfolio.